Hi, my name is Pascale, and I want to welcome you to the 19th annual fundraiser of the Pascale Pals. While this is our 19th annual auction, we are actually celebrating over 20 years of Pascale Pals' existence. Pascale Pals began with a few volunteers who wanted to help ease the burden of children and their families being in the hospital. Our mission then, and still is today, is to ease the burden of the families and the children while they're here in the hospital. We believe greatly that happiness and health go hand in hand. Because of all the support, kindness, and love that you all have shown the Pascale Pals over the years, we have been able to continuously help in so many ways. We will talk about our ongoing programs and efforts through this video this evening. Thank you very much to our incredible community, and have a great evening.
I'm Lota Timberlake, and I have had the honor to be part of the Pascale's Pals since the beginning. I remember like it was yesterday when Pascale was diagnosed. I remember not knowing what to do and not knowing what to say, so I kind of backed off and didn't do anything. Wanted to give the family a little space, so to speak. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that feeling. And after a couple of days, when I did call, I remember Matt answering the phone and saying, "Where the bleep have you been? It seemed like everybody deserted us." And with that, I realized that what the families need in this situation, they need to know that there's somebody out there that cares. Somebody, anybody that cares for what's going on to them at the time. And I think we have within us just kind of an urge to help. It's just hard to know what to do. And since we can't all rush into the hospital when we have a friend in crisis, Pascale's Pals is there to be that vehicle, to be that representative, if you will, that tool to help out in the hospital where we can't do that for them.
I feel very honored and fortunate and lucky to have such an organization in the community that provides such amazing support to the kids and the families at the most difficult times in their lives.
The unending focus from Pascale's Pals is to make this day better for the families and the children. So it's not hospital equipment, it's things that will support the families. If it has a hospital equipment feel to it, it's always something better for the kids. So a special vein finder machine that would allow us to be able to put IVs in kids much more easily, fewer pokes, less pain. That type of thing is the thing that Pascale's Pals is always there to help us to fund.
I work with patients who have cystic fibrosis. One of our young men was entering high school and wanted to attend a football camp. He has a single mother, so as you can imagine, having a child with a chronic disease can be very expensive and time-consuming, so she doesn't have a lot of extra money. He wanted to attend a football camp at Mizzou, and during a clinic visit, she told me she just couldn't afford to send him to camp. So I got on the phone and I called Sylvie, and she said yes, of course. The other concern was going into high school. Lots of kids need technology and things to do homework nowadays, and she did not have money to purchase a laptop. So again, I asked Sylvie, even though they had already paid for the football camp, would you buy this young man a laptop? And of course she said yes. They told me that number one, he had an absolute amazing time at camp, and he has used his laptop a million times already just in this school year, so thank you so much.
We did this project called Go Baby Go, and it's essentially those little Jeeps or cars that you see kids like to ride around in, you know, in the summertime when it's nice. We are able to adapt those cars for kids with special needs. So if a child can't necessarily use their feet, maybe they can like use their hand and pedal, you know, from using their hand on the button in the front, or even we can do things like with head control if they need to use their heads. So it's this really cool project, but you have to be able to buy the cars and the equipment to adapt those, and every child needs a different adaptation than another child. So Pascale Pals provided us with the cars, and we were able to, I think we did like 8 to 10 of them this year, and we're gonna do some more next year, and so that was really awesome for us.
The thing I would say that I appreciate more than anything about Pascale's Pals though, besides the support they give to the patients, is how they always think out of the box. I think especially for me, because I take care of patients with long-term illness that are hospitalized for long periods of time. We think as a team that we understand what the needs of their families are, and you realize that whatever you think their needs might be, there's always something that comes up that's important and an unmet need. And I know that we can always, whether at Rusk or now at Women's and Children's, can call Pascale's Pals, and with any need, they help us meet that. And I really appreciate that, as I know the families do.
One of the hardest things for our families is when one of their babies dies and does not make it out of the intensive care unit. And adding to that pain is when they cannot afford to pay for a funeral that would be important to them. And we have asked help and gotten help from Pascale Pals to help pay for a funeral, which means so much to the families. As difficult as it is to lose your baby, to be able to have a dignified celebration of that baby's life with a funeral is so important to the families, and that is so appreciated and under-recognized.
3 years ago, the University Hospital funded a new position for a music therapist here at the hospital. That was a wonderful addition to the Chale program. Our music therapist provides one-on-one sessions working with the kids to help meet their emotional and psychosocial needs and helping them cope throughout the hospital, and she does that all through music. But what is a music therapist without some instruments? And so we were able to go to Pascale's Pals, and they were able to fund all of the instruments that our music therapist used throughout her sessions when she's working with the kids in the hospital.
I worked for the Women's and Children's for 35 years now, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Sylvie and Pascale Pals for 20 years. They are our second hand. They're our go-to people that really help our families and the NICU. They also made it possible for our families to have an area to wait in. Some of our babies are there for as long as a year. Some babies are there for a short time, but one thing we know is parents don't want to leave their babies. And so she provided us a beautiful waiting room where they can relax, they can have coffee, they can have their food. There's a nice, big, huge refrigerator that they all bring their food and keep it in there so that they can have something to eat at any time, day or night.
We have delivered hundreds of wish baskets. The children actually do fill out a long wish list, and anything that they want, they put on that wish list, and we do everything that we can to fulfill those wishes with iPads, with computers, with headphones, and age-appropriate other toys. And there's this beautiful basket that is personally delivered to these children when they are in the hospital.
I love my iPad. It says iPad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Yay.
Yeah, and a hot pink cover.
Thank you, Pascale's Pals.
Oh.
Every year for, I don't even remember how long, they make sure that our families have Christmas. They make sure Santa Claus pays a visit to all the kids in the hospital, make sure that those kids get a bag full of toys. And not only for the patient in the hospital, they make sure that the families get something. They always provide a special family gift and make sure the siblings have something as well.
As the treasurer, I can honestly say that every penny that we raise, every penny that we get, stays right here with the kids at the hospital. We don't have any overhead in our organization, which makes us quite unique. And with the money we raised from tonight's auction, we're going to build the most awesome, coolest playroom, both for the kids and also for the teenagers. It's going to be the coolest thing you've ever seen.
And to find some kind of interactive thing that keeps them mind off where they're at, entertains them, and helps the parents as well, bring calm and relaxation to their children. That's a big deal to me. With these donations that Pascale's Pals has done, we're going to be able to achieve this goal, and I'm very excited. I mean, as a kid at heart, this is a great project, and I'm excited.
And the kids that are at the hospital, they're going to know, they're going to be able to kind of dream themselves away for a little bit, and they will also know that there is someone out there that cares what happens to them.
It's financial support, it's emotional support, it's spiritual support, that they're always there to back the kids and families. And that has a downstream positive effect on the doctors and nurses and staff who work here, because if it's better for the families, it makes life better for us too. So we're deeply indebted to the work that Sylvia and Matt and Pascale's Pals have done for us over the years. So thank you so much.